Hey y'all, I'm Madison Moore. I am using the cool tool app Scribble Maps. Scribble Maps can import data that may relate to any place and also overlay it into a customized map that you want to design. It offers features such as setting place marks, adding new images, and drawing tools in those maps. You're able to analyze and discover insight within it. The fun part of the tech world in Scribble Maps is being able to show different sizes and shapes in the countries or state you're looking at, locations of certain features, and distance between places you travel or you would like to travel. The first couple tools I would like to discuss with you is the circle tool, which is right here, the rectangle tool, which is right here, and then this little tool right here, which is the shape tool, where you can add people or distinguish in the areas of what people are doing and just adding them to the locations that they're at, which is super helpful for people. The idea of this is being able to focus on certain places in a town rather than the whole area. You're giving insight on the little pieces that are there. While you're using these tools, make sure that you are in the hybrid mode, which is in the bottom right hand. You see you have the traffic, terrain, satellite, road, and hybrid. Hybrid is going to make sure you can see all the little details, which is super helpful when trying to describe an area or a certain place they need to look at to find it. So my first example I'm going to use with Scribble Maps is something off Netflix. I don't know if you've heard of Vampire Diaries, but it was filmed in Covington, Georgia, which is interesting because it's right outside my hometown in Atlanta, probably about 30-40 miles. If you go to the right-hand corner, you can zoom in to the area you want to use, which is the Covington Square. So, you can see everywhere around it, what's popular, the restaurant signs, the housing signs, shopping area, food, all those. I'm going to zoom out so you can see the Covington Square. When you use the tools, which I'm going to use a circle first, you can get the whole area of where Vampire Diaries is filmed, which you can see is right here. Next, I'm going to use the square, the rectangle tool. So I'm going to mark out places that the vampire is filmed in Covington Square, which is Mystic Grill, which is a nice restaurant down there. And you see that it's marked out in that town. Next is the Vampire Stalkers Mystic Falls tour, which is another cool thing they do there. And I'm going to mark that out. And then I'm going to use it again and do the Social Goat, which is a restaurant that everybody goes to in that town for the Vampire Diaries. So as you can see, I have the circle map, which has blocked off the whole area. And then inside the circle map, instead of doing the whole area where people would, walk around or see, I have it marked off where you can go to Mystic Grill, the Vampire Diaries restaurant. You can go on a tour, and then you can go to the Social Goat, which is another big place in the Vampire Diaries that it's filmed. All these are inside there, and instead of having to figure it out, it's already mapped out, so you know exactly where to go. Next, I'm going to use the shape tool, and it's on travel, which is what it needs to be on, and you can drag, anybody over and put them there. And that will show that that is the place you need to go to see everything going on in Mystic Falls in Covington, Georgia. So as you can see, it's super helpful in that area to make sure, instead of just going there, you can have all these different tools to use to help people find where they need to be. So that is one really cool tool I've figured out in Scribble Maps, and it's been very helpful. I wish I've had this when I've traveled there to see where I actually need to be. The next thing I want to show you on Scribble Maps is the marketing of travel. So from one location to the next. So located right now, I am in Opelika. So, you can zoom in, which I'll show you the top right corner. and you can find the area you're in. So this is me in Opelika, and I traveled to Montgomery for classes at AUM. So I'm going to use the marker tool, which is in the top left corner. I'm going to use that. I'm going to add my own, and I'm going to put it in Opelika. I want to title where I'm at, which I'm going to put home, so it's easy to tell. I'm going to save it there. And then I'm going to put a marker tool, add your own, into Montgomery, and I'm going to label it school. Save. And that is from Opelika to Montgomery, where I travel. So next, I'm going to use the draw tool, which is basically corresponding to where you're going and from where you're at, and it will give you the points and everything. So I'm going to draw out where I'm going and my distance it takes me and where it takes me to, and I'm going to stop it from point to point. And once I do that, it's pretty easy to tell. So you just go back to your hand tool and you can click on your Opelika map, which is labeled home. So it's easy to tell where you're at. And then you can click on where you're going in Montgomery, and that is my school. So it gives me from point A to point B with it labeled. And then you can use your writing tool and you can tell how long it takes and where you're at. And that is another cool thing I figured out with Scribble Maps. And also by clicking the top left button, which is the edit measure tool, you're able to see from the line that you drew the length and everything from one location to the next, which is awesome. So as you can see, Scribble Maps is such a cool idea, and it's something awesome to learn. Just if you want to create new things, or if you want to show a video of how you get from one place to the next, or if you want to tell a friend how to go to a certain area or where to go or the best restaurants, it's so easy to map it out without having to try to describe something and for them to have to look it up. You can just send them your Google map, and it has been helpful for me, and I think that I will definitely use this in the future, and I hope that I've explained it great where you would want to use it in the future.